Canadian with the name of Scafoni. Of course, we know him as Jack Scott in My True Love right here on WUSC FM. On the phone with me right now, I have David Bellamy of the Bellamy Brothers. Good morning, David. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How are y'all?
Oh, we're doing fine. You're going to be here in town, actually in Newberry, South Carolina, which is about 30 miles from here, on Thursday, aren't you?
That's correct. We're looking forward to coming back.
That'll be at the Newberry Opera House. And you've been in there before. It seems to me I remember seeing your names on the wall in the green room in there.
That could have been.
Yeah.
We played there once before. Yeah, it's really a great place. We enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. Well, you came out of Florida in the mid 70s, if I remember correctly. You're from Darby, Florida. Is that right?
Yeah, we're from Darby, Florida, a little town about 30 miles north of Tampa, and we actually still live there. We made the rounds through Nashville and Hollywood, but we came back and lived in Darby.
Yeah, well, I'm an old Jacksonville boy myself. That's where I was born and raised. So, yeah, good old Florida. Yeah, we do enjoy that. So, you guys, you really started in the 70s. You had a few hits out there in '76. Let Your Love Flow. And remember Old Hippie, too, as well, and then a whole bunch of... What was that one about, Will You Hold It Next to Me?
Yeah, Beautiful Body. Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah. But one of the things that kind of amazes me is that you guys are still striking it really big in some ways. You have a success in continental Europe with a compilation album topping the Norwegian charts back in 2011. So this is your music is still relevant today with a lot of audiences around the world.
We have been very fortunate to have a really big international audience. It's been great for us. You know, we've had platinum records in Switzerland, and we've had hit records in Brazil, and we've toured India and Sri Lanka, and of course our regular international runs through Germany and England and Australia and all those places. But and you know, of course we still love to play the good old USA. We play probably close to 100 shows a year in America.
Wow! So definitely your career is still on fire.
We still, we work, we have more, actually probably more work than we can do. We feel very fortunate for that because we've been around. This is our 40th anniversary.
Mm-hmm. Your dad was a member of a Western swing band, and your sister played rock and roll, and that kind of inspired you, didn't it?
Yeah, I grew up hearing just about every type of music there was. Like you say, my dad he played dobro and fiddle. In a Western swing and kind of a polka band, and then my sister brought home records by Elvis and the Everly Brothers, and we used to have the Jamaicans came and picked our fruit every year. We used to hear all the island music, we used to pick fruit for them, and we got just a lot of influences. And of course, our original influence was gospel music.
Mm-hmm. Did you sing in a church back when you were growing up?
Oh yeah, sure. We sang in the old Amelia Baptist Church in Darby.
Oh boy!
For many, many years. So I knew all the songs in the Broadman hymnal.
Yeah. Now, one of the interesting things about you and your brother is that neither one of you had really any formal music training, but you knew how to play guitar, mandolin, banjo, accordion, fiddle, organ, and piano. Yeah,
we grew up. My family always had about the only thing we ever did was raise cows and play music. And I grew up and we had accordions and pianos and banjos and fiddles and guitars in the house. My dad played. He played with two brothers who were Czechoslovakian brothers that used to be multi-instrumentalists, and I just grew up around people doing that and watched them, and I played from an early age.
Mm-hmm. You got started, I think your first musical gig was in 1968 at the Rattlesnake Roundup. Is that true?
Yeah, the Rattlesnake Roundup is a really old festival that has been going on here. I don't even know the year it started, but when I was in the middle 60s, I guess I was 15, 16 years old, we would play out there with my dad. I'd play accordion and Howard played banjo and my dad played guitar or something, we'd sit in the back of the pickup and play under the trees out there. And the farmers would collect the rattlesnakes during the year, and they would bring them in and milk them for venom.
Uh-huh.
And the guy who caught the biggest one that year would have won a pair of snake boots. That was the grand prize.
Was that from the snake he caught?
Yeah. You know that event still goes on.
Well, yeah. Being a Floridian, it's down there in San Antonio, Florida, isn't it?
Yeah. That's right near my home. It's about 5 miles from where I grew up, and that event still goes on every year. I think for years and years.
Well, speaking of spiders and snakes, you have a relationship with Jim Stafford, who recorded that song.
Yeah. I was very fortunate that Jim happened to walk in. I had been shopping some songs, trying to get some of my songs noticed, and I've been shopping some songs with this producer that lived in St. Petersburg, Florida. And he mostly hated all of them. But Jim came in and saw the title on a tape box. It said I don't like spiders and snakes, and he put it on the tape machine and he called me up and said, "Hey, do you mind if I record this?" And I said, "Please do."
Yeah, wow.
So
the
it
royalty
was a very, very, very big hit for him. It was sold 3 million singles at that time.
Yeah, and the royalties aren't hurting you at all, are they?
Well, It did keep me from picking oranges that season.
That's a good thing. Yeah, nothing worse than picking oranges, I'm telling you.
Well, yeah, or hoeing orange trees. Yeah, that's a hard life.
But you also knew Neil Diamond's drummer, Dennis St. John, who actually gave you the direction to go with your first big single.
Yes, I moved to L.A. actually to work on Jim's. I was one of the music directors on Jim's television. He had a summer replacement show for the Smothers Brothers in the early 70s. And I moved out there to work on the show along with Gallagher, the comedian, and those guys. And Howard and I started doing some demos with Neil's band because Neil was on hiatus for a couple of years. And I got to be really good friends with all those guys. And their drummer came into the studio one day and said, "Hey," he said, "Our roadie wrote this song that you guys, it sounds like something you do." So I said, "Well, bring it by." And he came by my house that night, and it was Let Your Love Flow. So we heard that song, and we were like, "Man, let's get back to the studio as quickly as we can."
Oh, yeah. And it turned out to be very fortuitous. #1 on both country and pop charts in 1976. So.
Yeah, and that's Let Your Love Flow is one of the reasons we still work all over the world, is because that song was such a huge international hit. Mm-hmm. It was #1 in about 20 countries.
Yeah. Now, we were joking around a few minutes ago about if I said you had a beautiful body, would you hold it against me? That actually came from a Groucho Marx quote, did it not?
Yeah, I actually heard Groucho say that on his TV show. I don't think he originated it, because a lot of people have told me that line had been around forever, that it went back to before vaudeville, and it was very, very old. But I heard Groucho use that on his TV show, his game show that he had in the 50s. I was watching some reruns. And so that's where I first heard it. And I said, well, that would make a pretty good country song. So that's where I heard it.
Well, there's no way I'm going to talk to you without talking about Jesse and Noah, your sons.
Oh, yeah, the boys. Yeah, they're doing really good. They are actually doing a new album right now. Mm-hmm. And I've heard some of the early rough mixes, and it sounds really great. And they've been doing really great. They've been touring a lot. They've been to Europe a few times as well, and have been really, really well received. And so we're hoping big things for the new album. Yeah.
Well, I tell you, and of course they had their two big singles, "Weeps in My Heart" and "Daddy's Got a Shotgun," which made the Texas music charts top 50 in 2006. So they're doing well.
Yeah, and they've actually got a song on the Texas charts right now called "Austin Keeps Me Weird." And,
I love that.
It's actually doing pretty well on the Texas chart right now.
Fantastic. Well, David, I want to take a moment to thank you for calling in and talking with us this morning, especially since you're getting ready to come up here. Are you guys driving up from Florida, or are you flying up?
I'm actually flying to Nashville on Wednesday to meet my band because we have a little meeting up there, and I'm going to meet the boys that night, and we're taking off. We'll be over there probably by Thursday about midday.
Yeah. So the show is coming up at the Newberry Opera House this Thursday evening, and I think the show time is 7:00 if I remember correctly. I don't have it in front of me right this second. But so if you want to see the Bellamy brothers, there's a really good chance to do that this week right here in the Central Midlands area of South Carolina. So that's going to be at the Newberry Opera House. David, thank you so much for calling in. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys. We'll see you this week.
Very good. Bye now.
Bye.